It is the 75th anniversary of the NBA, and we are celebrating it by honoring the greatest 75 players of all time. Tuesday, 25 were announced. Wednesday, 25 more were announced. So let's focus on the first day. So B. Wood, obviously everyone on this page is worthy, but who are some of your favorites that stand out to you?
Well, first off, for me, come on, 2011, special year in Dallas. So I'm going with my guy, Dirk Nowitzki. He stands out to me the most. And then I've got to roll with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, one of the best to ever do it. When we talk about who's the best, people say Mike or they say LeBron, they got to mention Kareem's name a lot more also. Guy invented the skyhook.
Michael LeBron, hold that thought. Let's call it a segue. We'll come back to that. Maybe the most decorated player in the history of the game, talking about Kareem. And then there was day 2. I'm looking at this list. Shouts out to Bubba Chuck. Glad to see him on there, but that was expected. Who stands out for you?
Guys that stand out to me, one of my favorite players growing up, Patrick Ewing. I wore number 33 because I love the New York Knicks and Patrick Ewing growing up. And also, guy that stands out to me, the big fundamental. When we start talking about guys in the top 10 basketball history of all time, because Tim was, some would say, boring or he didn't have all the highlight plays, people sleep on how dominant and how great he was.
No doubt about it. He was indeed great. Now, the final 25 will be announced exclusively, that's right, on TNT. The pregame begins at 6 following us. Go ahead, flip over, use a remote control if you're using an app. Whatever you're using, make sure you tune in because the last 25 will be announced. And you talked about MJ and talking about the homie 2-3, Jordan and James ain't no different. We all balling the same. We're going to get to both of those guys, but let's talk about MJ, your fellow Tar Heel, obviously played with him. Your thoughts, and I mean, we all knew Mike was going to be named, but just your thoughts on Mike being named. But, a better question. Favorite Mike moment to where you realized when you were playing with him that, this is MJ?
When I played with him or watching him play?
When you played with him.
When I played with him, I think the greatest Mike moment to me was on the defensive end. It was a very close game, and he just went up and blocked Ron Mercer's dunk with 2 hands. And I was just like, this is 40-year-old Michael Jordan. Came out of nowhere. Ron Mercer was on a fast break, and Mike just came out of there and caught his shot with 2 hands on the layup. It was an incredible play for a guy that was 39, 40 years old to still make that type of play at the end of his career.
Yeah, that was outstanding. And as you see, pick your favorite Michael Jordan play. They're all over the place. Shooting at the free throw line with your eyes closed, Dikembe talking to you.
Skirt! Come here, B. Russell.
Was that a push-off or no?
Nah.
Doesn't matter.
Looks like a good crossover to me.
So, obviously, we know number 23, Chicago, Washington, making the list. But then you have another guy who you competed against, also played with later on in your career, LeBron James. Not a shocker. Pretty safe to say he's going to make the 75 list.
Oh, yeah, LeBron's going to be up there. When you talk about best players in the game, for me, just my opinion, it's Mike and then it's LeBron James. And LeBron has just been that good. He's probably had the longest run as far as being a dominant player. Like most of the time when you say, hey, how long has a guy been the number 1 player in the league? They'll have a 5-6 year window, maybe an 8-year window. LeBron has been the best player in the NBA for probably over a decade and has just recently given up that crown. So there's nothing not to like about LeBron James. He's one of the rare guys that came in with the expectations way up here, and he exceeded them. LeBron James has been incredible. He's been a great leader. He's been a great ambassador for the players. He's been great in the community, and he deserves every ounce of success that he's gotten.
Yeah, he's been wearing that crown for a very long time.
Don't call him King James for nothing.
I'm just saying that crown is heavier than the chains that Slick Rick wears. So I'm just saying, he's been toting a lot.
The young kids don't know who Slick Rick is.
They know who Ghostface is?
No, definitely.
Okay, all right. Let me just move on.